And you just got to ask yourself, to what end?
It's going to be more of a controlled demolition. It's all been set up. Our entire world is a facade. It's all been set up, at least in these last 30 years. It's my own personal opinion. You can agree or disagree. They know this event's coming. And I'll pull up just one last chart, and I'm trying to give you some information here. This Nature and Geosciences, it says grand solar minimum over the last 1,000 years, the red and yellow chart here. These drop-offs, this is the Altai Mountains in the Russian area and the European Alps. It should say GSM 1,000 years, the grand solar minimum. It's the red one. The drops that come are steep and fast. It's nothing like we've ever seen before and how fast. The early 1970s would be light in comparison. They've set this up because they know what's about to happen. Our society's going to change so much that you're not going to be able to ride this out. Like you said, the whole world's going to be touched by it to the point where you're going to have to incorporate it into your lifestyle. It's going to be a life change in a lifestyle change. You're going to have to live through it. You're going to have to adapt, change the way you live, work with the people around you. It is a reset button for our society that's about to happen right now. The coolest of the period shall occur around 2023 to 2024. It should warm up a little bit until 2035, about 10 years after that. And then according to a lot of information from Valentina Zarkova and Dr. Atbutamov out of the Russian Pulkovo Observatory, John Casey, they all say it's going to cool to 2060 after that. So even if we do get that 10-year respite and weather temperatures come back up again, it's going to be a lifestyle change for sure. We're going to have to move with it. And yeah, it's going to be a different life. Things that we buy, sell, trade right now, they're not going to have value. You're not going to want a new 20-inch plasma, 100-inch plasma, 1,000-inch plasma screen. You're going to need things like tools and seeds and building greenhouses and converting containers into, I don't know, grow units for microgreens, just simple solutions like this. It's kind of what we're coming to. And I see the whole enclave here, why all these things are happening that you see as the effects of the whole. We're at the exact same crossroads again here with what we see. That's kind of what we're coming to. And I see the whole enclave here, why all these things are happening that you see as the effects of the whole. We're at the exact same crossroads again here with what we see.
Band-Aids, beans, and bullets. Those are the types of things that are going to have value. Gold, silver, anything that has value just because of what it is, as opposed to this fiat money that we've been dealing with. I've tried to convey to the people that I talk to that they need to begin preparing for the unthinkable to become ordinary, like conditions that they would never even dream of having to deal with today in their worst nightmare. That's going to be daily living soon enough. And whether it's from social unrest, whether it's from world wars, whether it's from the climate, whether it's from the economy, it just feels like we're building up to a crescendo. And you know who's very well insulated from all of it? And that's the global elites. They've got their bunkers, they've got their safe spaces, their adult safe spaces, so to speak. And I don't really know what we, the people, can do about a lot of it. Other than prepare to the best of your ability. But the sad reality is people don't even know. They don't even have the knowledge to try to make informed choices anymore. So hopefully we've been able to at least shed some light from two completely different perspectives on what's going on for people.
And you do talk about the unthinkable happening. And I think the unthinkable is going to happen too, where people are going to connect together again, and our spirits as a human race are going to reconnect. We're going to be connected across lines of race, color, religion, that these people are trying to divide us across, because at that point we're going to need to really come back together to help each other. And you talk about the unthinkable. We are going to reconnect. That's the unthinkable, where we come back together as a human race. That's what they think's unthinkable. I think it's actually going to be the norm, because that's the way it was in the past, before we got divided in all these false ways that we have. And talking about cycles, when you talk, let's take what was valuable for trading, let's say 2,000 years ago. If you can start to take a look in history at the things that were tradable without using fiat currencies, tools, animals, seeds, just different stuff like this, firearms later on, ammunition, clothing, and not just, wear it and it rips apart kind of clothing, but really nice, thick, workable, long-term clothing, boots, any kind of skills that you have, that you can mend something, that you can create something new that has value. I mean, leather workers today, that's a lost art form. How about somebody who can repair a broken building that could insulate it and then put a greenhouse on? These are kind of skills that are going to be needed in the future. What if you're the person who trades the glass? I mean, we had the agricultural revolution, we had the mechanization, the industry revolution, then we had the computer revolution. Luckily today, I think we're going to combine all those in what I call integration revolution, where we have better technology to communicate with each other. The internet should step, at least in some parts, in some places where information could be exchanged. There's a lot of hope going on. I think this will be one of the, after it all crashes, coming back up, it'll be one of the greatest investment opportunities in building up in human history, if you're on that side of change. If you can't adapt to change, I'm sorry, you're going to have a very difficult time getting through this. If you can prosper during change and you can roll with it, this is going to be a golden era for you. Otherwise, there's so many changes. But look at the positive. The unthinkable is we come back together, and when they crawl out of their dirty underground bunkers with the rats and underground whatever they are, those beasts underground, when they roll back out, we have reunited, and they have no place here. And they cannot reorganize and cannot come back and try to put their power structure back in and ruin this place like they have. It's done at that point. That's what I think the unthinkable is.
Well, and maybe we'll close on that note. I think that you bring up a very valid point, and one that I think is true. I just fear that it'll be on a much smaller scale, based on videos that I saw of what people did to one another on, was it Black Friday? I mean, now picture people starving, and I think what's left is going to have no choice but to band together and do the unthinkable, what we would consider today unthinkable. I think you're absolutely right that perhaps humanity's best days are ahead, but it's not going to be without a lot of pain between now and then. Whether it's self-induced, a lot of it, that being particularly measures as it relates to the economy, or nature, some of the things that you're talking about. Either way, I think we got a real what show coming our way. So especially if you've got kids out there, folks, please get informed, get educated, and begin to make preparations to the best of your ability to ride out the storm as best you can.
Yeah, and I will say thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. I'm so grateful you're here right now, that you have a chance to see some of this information and make better, more informed choices instead of what you're being fed by the media. Please look into and do some of your own research. There was a lot of ideas presented here, and we'll add in a few more slides at the end so you can continue on and do your own research.
And for everybody, David's YouTube, so you can check it out once again, is Adapt 2030. I am the vast Right Wing Conspirator. David, what is your website?
Oilseedcrops.org, O-R-G.
And mine is www.thelastgreatstand.com. And look forward to hopefully getting our audiences to intermingle a little bit and share some more knowledge, because we all know that knowledge is power. But was it he who controls information controls? So, which is obviously something that that we know they're trying to put a clamp on, particularly as it relates to free speech and whatnot. So, the more people that we can get sharing the messages that we have, the better our fellow citizens are going to be for it. So, David, I thank you for coming on board today, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.